Oh god. This is gonna hurt.
Today we have a beginner's tutorial, SCUM version 0.05. What to do in your first few hours on the island. Okay, so when you first drop in the island, you're going to be dropped with basically nothing but the clothes on your back. See, we got a inmate shirt, has a single inventory slot, some inmate pants, have two, and then some other just underneath layers. So we got an undershirt, some underwear, basic pair of tennis shoes, socks, and then the all important willy warmer, of course. So typically the first thing that you're going to want to do, I want to come in, we're going to want to build at least a basic knife to help us get started. To do this, you're going to need to search the ground for a couple stones, which typically not too hard to do. There we go. Okay, so we got two stones here, so we're going to go over to the crafting tab. I'll look through. This basically gives you all the different options of things you can make throughout the game. It's quite a good number of different odds and ends. Some are just decorations. Get your base building elements, flags, walls, doors, etc. Chests, fortifications for pre-made buildings. You got food stuff here. Locks to keep your stuff safe. It's like some different little cosmetic items and some good improvised gear. So you craft your own ammo at a certain point if you have enough engineering skill. What we're going to look at for now would be tools and weapons, no skill. So with these two stones, looks like we can build a couple different items. We can go ahead and make a stone knife. Looks like we could go ahead and craft a stone axe head. We're going to go ahead and start with this stone knife. Click craft. And we don't have to pick these up. We can use them to craft out of our vicinity, basically. Okay, now the first thing, and this gets a lot of new players, when you do craft something, it is going to go onto the ground. It's not going to go into your inventory right off the bat. You craft something up, you take off running, stuff's left behind, and then you're left more or less to, you know, try and find this thing visually, which, yeah, pretty easy to lose stuff that way. Just going to go ahead and take this thing into our hands. First thing I like to go ahead and do is go ahead and start making some rags. I'm going to go ahead and find one of these bushes here that's going to be useful. Typically the first thing that I like to make is one of these improvised backpacks. It's going to take 3 rags, it's going to take some rope, and it's going to take some sort of a tool. In our case, in this early stage, it's going to be the basic knife we just crafted. So, most useless thing that we have right now are underwear. Who wears those anyway, right? I'm going to go ahead and cut those up. Oop. One useful thing that you can do while you're crafting, you can go ahead and tab, back out, keep an eye on your surroundings, make sure nobody's trying to sneak up on you. If you press escape, it will cancel the crafting. Okay, so it looks like we got 1 rag. Let's go ahead and cut up these socks as well. If you remember, it's going to take us 3 of those rags to get this bag belt. Okay, looks like we have the rags that we're going to need now. As far as the rope. See here, each of these items have multiple, so we can use dirty rags or regular rags. We can use animal skin. We already got that covered with our regular rags. For the rope, now this is a non-crafted rope. This is a rope that you will find in game. And we hadn't done any looting yet, so that's not an option. Looks like we can use an improvised rope. So let's see if we can find that improvised rope. Improvised fishing line. Here. Got tree bark rope. Improvised rope we can make with rag strips. Tree bark rope can be made with sticks and a knife. Hence the bush. So let's go ahead. Cut down this. This is going to make quite a bit of noise, so if you're in a PvP server, definitely want to tab back out and watch your back. So it looks like that gave us 2 small sticks, 1 long stick, and a couple small logs. Let's double check again. We need 5 small sticks. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we can cut this long stick down into small sticks as well. Just right click, cut into small sticks. Making a lot of noise. Usually you're going to spawn somewhere out in the woods where you should be okay, but never a bad idea to keep your eyes open. So it looks like we only have 4 small sticks. What we're going to do, because we're going to have to find another bush. These things can be hard to find if you leave them behind. So I'm going to go ahead, go back into my crafting. No skill items. I'm going to go ahead and bundle these sticks up. That way we can carry them with us. Again, whenever you craft something, it's going to appear on the ground. Go ahead and strap those to our back. Let's move this knife to our hands so we can carry our 3 rags. Don't have to leave those behind. Okay, let's find us another bush. Luckily it spawned us in a biome that has plenty of bushes. So let's go ahead, hold F, cut down this bush. That should give us what we need. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, looks like we got a couple more sticks. Got another long stick, couple more logs. What we're going to go ahead and do, just going to go ahead and take these apart. It's going to give us our 5 sticks. Okay. So now we're going to go into crafting. We'll find our tree bark rope. Craft them up. Okay. Now we have our rope. We have our rags. We've got our knife. Let's make sure we don't leave that behind. Again, rope is on the ground. We can use it off the ground to craft. Gonna find our improvised carrier backpack. Go ahead and put that together. It's gonna give us kind of a basic inventory space for the beginning of the game. Okay. You see on the ground we got our improvised carrier backpack. So now I got my bag put together. You see it's going to give me quite a bit more inventory. It's going to make it a lot easier as we move forward with our crafting. We'll go ahead and take that knife back into our hands. And you can use the knife as an initial weapon. Not going to suggest that. Thing's very weak. And the puppets can really tear you up while you're trying to slash them with this thing. Probably one of the best weapons right off the bat that you can get would be to go ahead and turn this leftover long stick that we have here. Go ahead and turn that thing into a spear. Again, not an optimal weapon, but something, you know, that can keep you alive in a pinch. with this spear. You can use it just as a general melee weapon. You can also take it, hold your G button. You can use it as a ranged weapon. Let's go ahead and pick that back up. And you can see that did do a little bit of damage, but not much. And you can use that pretty well in the very beginning to kind of fend off any zombies. You know, kind of crouch down, get as close as you can. And you're going to just find your target and let her loose. You see you've got a little bit of drop there depending on the distance, so you have to adjust accordingly. So that'll get you started with a nice little basic loadout to go ahead and get going. Usually at this point, once I have the bag, I will suggest going ahead and getting rid of this bright orange shirt. So I usually go ahead and slice that up, make some rags. You can use these rags to patch. If you do run into some zombies in the beginning, if you fall, it's going to keep you healthy. So I'll go ahead, load these into my nice new bag. You can make a bundle of these for right now. I'm going to leave it as is, but if you get up a good couple, you go ahead and make an improvised bundle of rags. And that's going to save you a little bit of inventory space. You can bundle up to 5 rags. So obviously if you have more than 2, it's going to be a little more handy. We'll go ahead and get one made. See here, only takes 2 inventory slots, whereas before we were already looking at 3. You can see if you had 5 rags and a strip, that's going to be 6 inventory spaces. That would just about have our entire backpack filled. Go ahead and take that knife back in hand. Now that should be enough to get you started.